views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Prime Minister Davis says seeking a second term is not about ego. Debate expected to begin on the smuggling of migrants bill in the House today. And in business, we are talking about the National Health Strategic Plan for 2026 through 2030. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, December 8th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Deandra Cartwright will be joining us. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Prime Minister Philip Davis says a second term is not about satisfying his ego. He was speaking at a Progressive Liberal Party men's branch meeting last night. He's urging or arguing that a second term would see the continuation of policies, programs, and ideas started over the last 4 years. He said, quote, "It is about our children. Think about a boy who entered grade 7 this year. With continuity, we can have a school system that is being strengthened year after year, support programs that grow instead of vanish, and a safer community shaped by long-term crime prevention work." The country is months away from the next general election. The last party to win a consecutive term in office was the FNM, led by former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham in 1997. Davis said a second term for his administration would allow it to complete the reforms it started in the energy sector, allow it to finish a new hospital and clinics, and deepen labor programs. Housing Minister Keith Bell dismissing repeated claims made by opposition leader Michael Pintard on the government's transfer of over $20 million to a government business enterprise called Carmichael Village Development Company Limited, saying the money was to resettle a loan for the construction of the Renaissance housing project that became due. Pintard has called the company a phantom entity. Bell insisting yesterday, though, that Pintard is grasping at straws. He says, quote, "The FNM started this Carmichael Village, and when we came to office, We saw they hadn't done anything with it. They just started the project. When we came to office, what we did is we went to Jamaica and we got a company called Approved Lenders, and we borrowed $20 million for the subdivision. It was $20 million to build 200 units. Bell saying the loan became due. The government paid $10 million from the sales of the homes towards the loan, and the government paid $10 million out of the public treasury. Carmichael Village Project Development Company is listed as government business enterprise in the Ministry of Finance's Public Debt Statistical Bulletin. Pintard's letter to the Prime Minister in July was sent after an initial transfer of $10 million to the company from the public treasury with no explanation from the government on the purpose of the company. The Inter-American Development Bank approving an $80 million loan to improve drainage systems and mitigate flooding on New Providence. The loan falls under the One Caribbean program, which is the IDB's approach to promoting sustainable development in the Caribbean and small island developing states. It's also aligned with Ready and Resilient Americas, an IDB Group regional impact program designed to enhance and boost resilience to disasters in Latin America and the Caribbean. The agreement will also support the Ministry of Works assessment management system that will update specifications for road construction and maintenance. An American poker player who uses marijuana to help him focus was arrested on drug possession charges at Lynden Pilling International Airport last week. 49-year-old David Kilcoyne of Pennsylvania appeared before senior magistrate Anishka Isaacs Thursday, accused of drug possession with intent to supply. He denied having the drugs with the intention to distribute, insisting it was for his personal use. He pleaded guilty to simple possession after the prosecutor reduced the charge, and he was fined $1,500. According to the prosecutor, police found 25 homemade marijuana cigarettes and a packet of THC gummies inside Kilcoyne's suitcase. The court heard that Kilcoyne had a medical marijuana card because he has severe anxiety. Overseas, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky meeting the French, German, and British leaders in London today as Kyiv's European allies try to strengthen Ukraine's hand in thorny talks on a U.S.-backed plan to end the Russia-Ukraine war. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer due to gather Zelensky and French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz at the British leader's number 10 Downing Street residence. Zelensky said late Sunday that his talks with European leaders this week in London and Brussels will focus on security, air defense, and long-term funding for Ukraine's war effort. The leaders are working to ensure that any ceasefire is backed by solid security guarantees from Europe and the U.S. to deter Russia from attacking again. U.S. and Ukrainian negotiators completed 3 days of talks on Saturday aimed at trying to narrow differences on the U.S. administration's peace proposal. Zelensky said in a post on Telegram that talks have been substantive and that National Security and Defense Council Secretary, his and the Chief of the General Staff were traveling back to Europe to brief him. Thailand launching airstrikes along the disputed border with Cambodia today as both sides accused the other of breaking a ceasefire that halted fighting earlier this year. Long-standing border disputes erupted into 5 days of combat in July that killed dozens of soldiers and civilians. U.S. President Donald Trump pushed the Southeast Asian neighbors to sign a truce agreement in October, but tensions have continued to simmer. The Thai army said that more than 50,000 people have left areas near the border for shelters, while Cambodia's information minister said that tens of thousands of residents had been displaced from several villages near the border. The latest round of clashes has killed at least one Thai soldier and 4 Cambodian civilians. The Thai Prime Minister saying in a televised speech that military operations would be carried out as necessary to defend the country and protect public safety. And Japan today saying that Chinese military aircraft locked radar on its fighter jets even though there was a safe distance between them, denying Beijing's accusation of interference and renewing its protest over the incident. The chief cabinet secretary telling reporters that the self-defense force fighter jets were maintaining safe distance from their or during their mission, and that China's claims that the aircraft severely obstructed their safe flight is untrue. Japan and Australia urging calm on Sunday after Chinese military aircraft locked radar on the Japanese fighter jets. The incident occurred a month after the Japanese leader's remarks on Taiwan stirred tensions between Tokyo and Beijing. The defense minister saying Japan formally protested the incident, calling it, quote, an extremely regrettable act and a dangerous one that, quote, exceeded the scope of necessary for safe aircraft operations. Japan's defense ministry said China's aircraft took off from a Chinese carrier near the southern island of Okinawa Saturday and occasionally latched its radar on Japanese F-15 fighter jets on 2 occasions on Saturday for about 3 minutes in the late afternoon and for about 30 minutes in the evening. It was not made clear whether the radar lock incident involved the same Chinese J-15 both times. And Benin's president, Patrice Talon, condemning an attempted coup that was foiled by the country's army in his first public comments since sporadic gunfire was heard in parts of the administrative capital. A group of soldiers appeared on Benin State TV earlier Sunday to announce the dissolution of the government in an apparent coup, which would have been the latest of many in West Africa. The group, calling itself the Military Committee for Refoundation. Later, the Interior Minister announced in a video on Facebook that the attempted coup had been foiled, but that President Talon, whose location was unclear, did not comment. The coup attempt is the latest in a string of military takeovers and attempted takeovers that have rocked West Africa. Last month, a military coup in Guinea-Bissau removed former President Umaro Embalo after a contested election in which both he and the opposition candidate declared themselves winners. The regional bloc, the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, said it ordered the deployment of troops from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, and Ghana to support Benin's army to preserve constitutional order and the territorial integrity of the Republic of Benin. And the number of victims killed in an explosion outside a police station in western Mexico has risen to 5, according to the Attorney General's office. 12 others were injured following Saturday's explosion. The blast happened at midday in the center of a town in a western state, a state where numerous criminal groups operate, including the powerful Jalisco New Generation Cartel. It's also where the government recently launched a major security operation, given the ongoing violence. The state's prosecutor's office said the vehicle that exploded was a pickup truck and that the remains of 2 people were found at the scene. Authorities say 3 of those killed and 5 of those injured were members of the community police force. And U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth defending strikes on alleged drug cartel boats during remarks Saturday at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, saying that U.S. President Trump has the power to take military action, quote, as he sees fit, to defend the U.S. Hegseth dismissed criticism of the strikes, which have killed more than 80 people and now face intense scrutiny over concerns that they violated international law. Saying the strikes are justified to protect Americans, Hegseth likened the fight to the war on terror following the September 11, 2001 attacks. The most recent strike brings the death toll of the campaign to at least 87 people. Lawmakers have sought more answers about the attacks and their legal justification, and whether U.S. forces were ordered to launch a follow-up strike following a September attack even after the Pentagon knew of survivors. Though Hegseth compared the alleged drug smugglers to al-Qaeda terrorists, experts have noted significant differences between the two foes and the efforts to combat them. Hegseth's remarks coming after the Trump administration released its new national security strategy, one that paints European allies as weak and aims to reassert America's dominance in the Western Hemisphere. During the speech, Hegseth also discussed the need to check China's rise through strength instead of conflict. He repeated Trump's vow to resume nuclear testing on an equal basis as China and Russia, a goal that has alarmed many nuclear arms experts. China and Russia haven't conducted explosive tests in decades, though the Kremlin said it would follow the U.S. if Trump restarted the tests. In sports, for the first time ever, the Bahamas has advanced to the gold medal game of the Caribbean Baseball Cup. The host team got a gritty 2-1 victory over St. Martin at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium Sunday night, sealing a spot in the championship game of the 7th annual tournament for tonight. Both teams coming into the final group stage with an identical 2-1 win-loss record, so Sunday night's matchup was for all the marbles, and Team Bahamas came through when it needed it most. Chavez Fernandez giving his team exactly what it needed, throwing 3 2/3 scoreless innings to preserve the win for the Bahamas. He retired the final 3 batters in order, including a 9-pitch at-bat against St. Martin's catcher, Luca Pastor. Pastor fouled off 5 pitches before striking out swinging to end the game. And honoring a fallen coach, the Bahamas Youth Flag Football League wrapping up its 10th season on Saturday, crowning champions in all 3 age divisions at the flag football field adjacent to the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. Dominic Hollywood Kiki Varakis is one of the original coaches in the league and helped develop and grow it into what it is today, one of the premier youth sports leagues in the country. This season, over 200 kids competed on 16 teams in 3 divisions. League president Jason Clark said the league has grown significantly. It's experiencing its biggest participation numbers to date this past season. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. And the University of the Bahamas Mingos men's basketball team had a 2-week hiatus and returned to action, taking down the Royal Bahamas Police Force Crime Stoppers 75-53 at the Kendall Isaacs Gym Thursday. Terrence Higgs and Jeremiah Miller scored 12 points each for UB. Shamiko Albury had 11 points, and Lorenz Carter scored 10 points. From Sunday NFL action, the Houston Texans stifle Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in a 20-10 victory to keep pace in the AFC South race. And the Pittsburgh Steelers holding on for a 27-22 victory in Baltimore against the Ravens to move 1 game ahead of the Ravens in the AFC North. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the northern Abaco Keys and their adjacent waters, and a severe weather watch in effect for Bimini. This is in effect until 7:45 this morning. Department of Meteorology noting that their lightning detector and radar and satellite imagery continue to depict a line of moderate to heavy showers and embedded thunderstorms moving across these areas. These showers and thunderstorms associated with an approaching cold front near the northern Bahamas. Some of these showers will be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong and severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, possible hail, and waterspout activity. Localized flooding is also possible during these storms. Again, that thunderstorm warning and weather watch in effect until 7:45 this morning. We'll let you know if that's been renewed. And as you said, this is part of a cold front moving into the area today. And that's expected to produce showers and thunderstorms across the northern islands for now, with conditions anticipated to spread into the northwest Bahamas by late this evening into tonight. High-pressure ridging continues to support gentle to moderate winds for other parts of the country. More on the cold front in a bit, but for today, there remains a moderate risk of rip currents, mainly across the Atlantic waters of the southeast Bahamas, and a high risk of rip currents near the shorelines of Inagua. Beachgoers and swimmers urged to exercise caution in these areas and avoid entering Atlantic waters. There is a marginal to moderate risk of severe thunderstorms, moderate to severe thunderstorms during this afternoon and evening across the northern Bahamas and late evening into tonight for the northwestern islands. Your forecast for today for the northern islands and the northwest Bahamas: partly cloudy to cloudy, a 20 to 30% chance of showers with offshore isolated thunderstorms, increasing to 30 to 50% chance of scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by this afternoon for the extreme northern islands. A 10 to 20% chance of showers, increasing to 20 to 40% chance of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms by tonight for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. For the central and southeastern islands, partly cloudy to a mix of sun and clouds, becoming variably cloudy by nightfall. Only about a 10% chance of showers. Winds for the northern islands, northwest or southwest to west at 15 knots during the morning, shifting west to northwest at 15 to 20 knots by this afternoon. And for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, southwest to west at 10-15 knots. Winds will shift west, northwest to north-northwest at 15 knots with higher gusts later tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. Temperatures today, highs around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 74, 75 Fahrenheit, 23, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news at Smart Talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
It's an island love Christmas. Joys in the air. Jackpots are rising. There's luck everywhere. No snow on the ground. Just sunshine and cheer. It's an island love Christmas. The best time of year.
Island Luck wishes you a Merry Christmas and a Lucky New Year.
At Cleveland Clinic, you set your course, not cancer. So when your journey takes an unexpected turn, you seek out the experts who've conquered it before, and you forge new paths to help fight cancers. For every route to a cure, for every care in the world. See how we're innovating cancer care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This holiday season, come to John's on Rosetta Street, Arkamika Road for all your footwear and fashion needs, where we've got you and the family covered. Shoes, bags, jewelry, clothes, and even home appliances. John's has everything you need for work, church, play, or the party in your life. John's has Skechers, Steve Madden, New Balance, Nautica, Hey Dude, Patrick Ewing, and other trusted brands. A John's gift card is the perfect gift. So come on into John's and start your holidays off on the right foot. Merry Christmas, Bahamas!
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Mrs. Claus herself, Deandra Cartwright, taking some time away from the North Pole to join us.
Well, I had to come down to see if you all have been naughty or nice.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I'm
boy.
trying to help Santa out.
I see. Welcome.
And
welcome.
clearly the entire country has seen me and my husband on the front of the,
Is that who that
National
is?
Guardian.
If you need to pick up today's National Guardian to see what we're talking about. She took part, I guess, in the jingle.
Junkanoo Jingle
Junkanoo
today,
Jingle today.
5K. But I was stationary.
Oh, you didn't do the 5K?
No, I couldn't this year due to some challenges as I've been having, but I decided to be stationary. I usually do dress up as Mrs. Claus to do the run.
Oh, not Santa.
No, not I dress up as Mrs. Claus.
Oh, look at you.
But this year, Mr. Claus found me stationary and decided to dance with me in the middle of Rawson Square.
So you will live on forever as Mrs. Claus on the front page of the National Guardian. Pick it up to see what we're talking about there.
Dwight, somebody has reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, do you want to help me with this project? I want you to come dress like her." I was like, "I do that for one event."
You're going to be busy for the next few weeks, I'm
booked
sure.
and busy. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. I got to help Santa out. We have to figure out who's getting gifts and who's not getting gifts. The tings, the coins.
So it looks like they had a good turnout.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. Actually, I did a time lapse. A person's coming by. It was pretty cool to see like hundreds of people moving around. I mean, there's no other race like it, and you get to dress up, and then it's different from other races because you don't get a costume with other races. So this is actually included in it. But what I like about this one in particular, you're not just having fun, but you're contributing to a charity. In this case, it was the Blue Rose Foundation that helps children with leukemia, as well as there's a scholarship that they have for music students over at UB as well. So you're giving back while having fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Glad everybody had a great time.
Indeed. Now, I can't beat the I'm on the front page of the newspaper dressed up as Mrs. Claus, man. Come on.
I'm clipping this out and sticking it up on our wall. So you will be Mrs. Claus at least this month, every day, every time I see you.
Oh
we'll call
my
you Mrs.
gosh,
Claus.
y'all hear that? Listen, I
Yeah.
don't like that. You know what? Maybe somebody actually, could I say that to the guy who acted as Mr. Claus, as
Do you
Santa
even know
Claus?
him?
I don't know him. He came up after and he was like, "Hey, it was me dressed up as Santa Claus or whatnot," and he just continued because he was on his bicycle actually. So he came off his bicycle to dance with me inside the square, and then he got back onto the bicycle because he was biking the race. Right. And then when we went down to the village, he passed me like undressed, like not a Santa, he had on clothes, to say it was him. But then I couldn't even get his name because he was speeding.
Oh, my.
So I don't know the
Well,
identity.
hey, I'm sure if the reindeer allow, you'll meet again.
Rudolph?
I don't know what that means. But yeah, but if they all get up in the right line. I have no idea what I'm saying. It's early on Monday.
Rudolph the Red Nose.
Exactly.
Do you know, fun fact, that all of the reindeer technically had to have been women?
Why?
I could bring that up, but it has something to do with their antlers.
I've seen some with them with antlers, though.
Yeah, no,
The
it has something
pictures.
to do with the antlers. So they have to all be women technically based off of that.
Okay, find that information.
I will.
No, you're not saying that because they had antlers doesn't make them.
No, it has something to do with them having
type of antlers.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a type, but it has something to do with the antlers. I can't remember what it is, but
okay.
Because of the antlers or whatever detail it is, they had to have all been female reindeer.
Okay, all right. That's if we believe this crazy story. But good stuff. Hey, coming up this morning, we are going to be finding out about the National Health Strategic Plan. There is such a thing, and they have a new one for 2026 through 2030, the country's National Health Strategic Plan. We're going to get into that this morning.
Okay, I need to go get some more coffee.
For that?
Yeah. Because we have so many different types of plans, but do we act on it?
Oh,
I
boy.
really want to hear.
We could talk to
Oh,
the
I
guests
found
about
it.
that.
So, yes, Santa's reindeer are likely female because male reindeer shed their antlers in early December, while females keep theirs throughout the entire winter. This means that the reindeer depicted with antlers like Dasher and Dancer are probably all female.
Shed them like they all go away?
Sorry. So, like, antlers drop. Wow. Like, every year, like, antlers drop. Like, you can find them littering, like, the thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks gnarly when that happens. So, yeah.
Look at that. Okay.
Stick around me, kid. You'll learn a lot.
All right, so that's all coming up, but we got a lot to talk about right now in the news. And in the news, just a few things that we didn't talk about in the overnight and in the papers, but this was interesting. Did you hear about this? 2 people within hours of each other escaped custody. I think police are saying they saw that one turned himself in. I'm not sure about the other yet. But this was on a Saturday morning. 2 people escaped lawful custody around 6:30 a.m. Thomas Minnis Jr. escaped from the Grove Police Station. At the time, he was in custody for possession of an unlicensed firearm.
Oh, boy.
And then around 7:30 Saturday morning, just an hour later, Cameron Pratt of Step Street escaped from the Fox Hill Police Station. At the time, he was in custody for grievous harm. Apparently, Cameron Pratt turned himself in.
Okay.
But we'll work to confirm what's happening with the other one. That guy who escaped all those months ago, is he still on the run?
I don't know,
Never heard anything again about that.
We rarely hear any follow-ups to these stories. I was waiting until he read it out to be like, please don't say it was the same police station.
No, that would have been a disaster.
Like within an hour, come on now.
Yeah, a real disaster. But hey.
But I wonder, like, how does that, it's been quite some time, Dwight, since I've been in a police station. I used to spend a lot of time there in my previous life for consulting purposes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Right. No, I'm not. No.
Say,
But I fancy it could be secure. But if they, I don't know, were they being held in cells? Were the cells locked? Because in certain stations, in order to get to the cells, there are a series of doors that you have to get through. And if you don't know how it's laid out, it can be confusing. So I don't know. Was this their first encounter at these stations? Were all of those different doors unlocked? Well, I don't understand.
No, and I don't think we'll be made to understand it either. But they're still looking for Pratt, it seems. Sorry, Minnis. Pratt turned himself in. Okay. Really quickly, just want to mention this. Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges. That's a lot of words there.
A mouthful.
They've announced that they've approved the University of the Bahamas as a candidate for accreditation. Will you be seeing this as an historic milestone? They haven't been granted accreditation yet. They've been approved, but they're a candidate for accreditation. So this very long journey continues, but I guess it's a positive step in the right direction.
I guess to say that their application was received,
Sound very enthusiastic.
So I don't know. I feel like I've been having a fever dream with this because I remember when I was a student, I heard whispers about applications for accreditation and whatnot like that. And this was, again, I graduated in 2013, right? I could have sworn there was an attempt to get accreditation because the thing is that if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, the coffee, I only had 1 shot of espresso this morning. There are 4 accrediting entities in the United States of America, because let's keep in mind this is only for the United States of America. If I remember correctly, and again, I could be wrong, there are 4. So if this is the process to get through with 1, that means do we have to repeat the entire process for the other 3?
Do you need to do all?
I don't know if it's like a regional thing or if we have to go through all 4. I don't know. Because they don't have like a national one. So it's like this is why it's, what is it, Southern somethings? Yeah, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools and whatnot. So I don't know, but I promise you, because I remember being on student government and they were talking about
this for a very long time.
No, but they were doing things for it because like we had certain lecturers in my program that were not permitted at that time. But then again, a couple of years later, other persons who were less qualified were allowed to teach. So I don't
doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when they said this was the first time, I was like, no, it's not the first time. Y'all started this way back then, but did y'all abandon the attempt years ago? Again, that's why I said I feel like I'm having a fever dream.
Wait, who said it was the first time?
I believe, what was it? I don't know if that was the chair who had said that, but they were like, this is the first time. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not the first time. They've been many presidents have been through. This has been going on for a very long time. This might be the closest they've been to it.
Perhaps. And then also as a
definitely
footnote,
not.
I think inside the story, it says that they're also doing this with NACOB.
which is shocking. So we're not accredited with NACOB?
Apparently, it literally says at the footnote right here, UB has been intentionally working towards international accreditation since 2017. I graduated in 2013. That's why I'm telling you this sounds weird, because I remember them talking about this from before 2013. But anyway, the university is also pursuing national accreditation with the National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas. So no.
Oh, well. Okay.
So does that mean that they could be challenged by NACOB to say that their degrees are worth? I mean, like,
No, I don't think
okay,
so.
just
But,
sure, sorry.
but that's interesting.
Very.
Okay.
But we don't hear anything about that application process. And I think from the photos I saw, they traveled with about 10 persons to Tennessee for this. Again, I could be wrong, but that's interesting.
Wow. All right. So in other news, did we talk about it in the news yet? Did we open in the news? Yes, we did. Okay. Mondays, I don't.
It's a
remember
Monday,
these
Dwight.
things.
It's
Yeah.
Mondays. It's Mondays during the holiday season.
Right? All right. So this is a disturbing headline, disturbing story. A Ragged Island family had to wait 24 hours with a deceased loved one before help came. Our Rachel Scott writing about it. After he died on Wednesday afternoon, 57-year-old Hollis Curling's body lay in bed in his Duncantown home for nearly 24 hours, while relatives waited for officials to arrive on Ragged Island to examine him. Amanda Curling, his sister, said the family was instructed not to move his body because it was a police matter, but no police have been permanently stationed on the island since 2017, when Hurricane Irma tore through the community, leaving it without some of the most basic infrastructure. As the hours passed, she said her nephew did the only thing he could and placed a cloth over his uncle's face to keep insects out. Oh, God. Amanda Curling said, quote, "The room he was in doesn't have AC because he didn't like the air conditioner. My nephew had to turn all the other AC units on in the house to make sure the house stayed cool, and then turn on a fan to blow air into that bedroom." Dealing with dead bodies on some of the more far-flung family islands is often a graceless affair. Photos of corpses wrapped in sheets on the beds of pickup trucks for transport to the morgue have on several occasions sparked outrage on social media. On Ragged Island, there's never been a morgue, but before Irma, at least there was a functioning police station and a clinic on the island. Neither has made a meaningful return since. When they realized that Hollis Curling had passed away, the family phoned the Royal Bahamas Defense Force base in Gun Point and a nurse who was stationed on the island in a makeshift building. This is Amanda Curling, I guess, said, quote, "They had to drive to the Defense Force base because they didn't answer the phone when they tried to call to tell them they needed help because he passed. I told my cousin to call the nurse. The nurse came. Once they got in contact with the officers at the base, they were told that there was nothing to be done but wait for the police." Curling said there were discussions about using a Defense Force speedboat to take the body to the morgue in Exuma, but that never materialized. Rigor mortis had long set in, and an odor had begun to emanate from his body by the time police and an undertaker from Nassau finally landed on Thursday afternoon. Amanda Curling says the entire situation has left her distressed, enraged, and once again questioning whether Ragged Island has been forgotten. Saying, quote, "I guess Ragged Island people are just like dogs or not a part of this Bahamas because you're treating us like dogs when we're humans and we're Bahamians. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. I don't care what island they're coming from. You have to treat everybody fair and with respect and dignity." Wow. Where do we even begin, right?
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Dwight, I promise you every week there is a reason for me to feel upset on behalf of the Bahamians from the southern part of this country. Literally, from 2017, you're telling me that they haven't had police presence on their island, so they're not entitled that. That the morgue hasn't been they haven't had one. It hasn't been functional, and then the mention of death being without dignity when you're on a family island in the South, that's a reality. And that the note that was placed in there about moving bodies on the back of pickup trucks, this is something that happened on Long Island recently, like literally, and it upset us as people because it reminds us that we don't have what we need on our islands. If we were to, and I wonder if this type of information will ever be made public outside of the islanders themselves saying it, do the islands actually have one? All of them have a police station with assigned police officers, a clinic with assigned nurses and doctors. Do they have morgues that are working? Because Long Island has a morgue, it just isn't installed. So it's of no use, right? Do they have emergency vehicles, such as ambulances or fire trucks?
This is your list of things you
I would
want
like
them
to
to
know.
have. Oh, want to know? You know the answer to this.
No, but this is what I'm saying. It's like when you think about it,
This is not happening.
it's ridiculous. Like you're so man, Ragged Island been through it. Like that is, first of all, is without infrastructure and resources. But second of all, in my personal opinion, primarily, and my condolences to the family, of course. Do you know what type of psychological trauma that is on that family? You've lost your loved one, but on top of that, you can't move your loved one or have certain things done because the support doesn't exist. Again, my question is the Bahamian in the southern or the northern part of this country less important than the Bahamian on New Providence? Like, I want somebody, like, nobody can answer me that.
No one's going to tell you no, but you know what the answer is. You can look all around.
We live it all the time.
You
we
know
live
the
it all the
answer.
time. Like, I just...
So now that you know this, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We've been telling you that the country cannot function with central government making all the decisions. Everything has to happen through Nassau. You have to send a police officer from Nassau?
But that shouldn't be. Can somebody...
Or somewhere else. But somewhere else.
My learned friends. So I don't know if it's in a law somewhere. I don't know. Maybe a police officer could message us. But isn't it that every island should have police presence?
Who knows? But this is just not the type of country we have. Everything is central in New Providence. I've been saying it, that we have to decentralize. We have to have real semi-autonomous local government in these communities so they don't have to wait for Nassau to make decisions. But it is not changing. It is not happening at all. So, no police, and no one has said anything about it, right? And that's disturbing. I mean, thank God there wasn't a major incident, but no police presence because y'all are good, y'all fine. But this is now the first time we're hearing about it, unfortunately, or maybe first time we're paying attention. But this is a problem.
But now I want to know. Like, I literally want to go through all of the islands.
Right. How many islands that don't have police?
How many do not have police? How many don't have working clinics with the nurses and the doctors or whatnot? Because you have to, so there are several elements to this, right? So you have to be examined by emergency personnel or medical personnel to be declared dead. The undertaker has to be the one to remove your body if no foul play has been in order, has happened or whatnot, right? If there has been foul play, then the body has to be taken into custody by EMS for the police, et cetera, and I may be getting those steps wrong. But if you don't have those persons on the island, then how is that supposed to happen? And then the fact that they had to bring in somebody from New Providence, I'm thinking about flights, right? Because we don't keep in mind also, there are not daily flights to some of our islands.
Yeah. And if you're going to make this silly excuse that, well, there are not enough people there to support this, at least have a major hub in the Southern Islands that you can leave from, depart from, and get whatever you need to and from, but we're not even doing that.
No, but I'm trying to figure out, like, right, so they had to bring somebody from New Providence. So if you don't have somebody stationary on the island, could they not be sharing with another closer island?
Yeah.
I mean, could that also, or maybe that makes too much sense, or maybe there's something that precludes him from being able to do that. Like I'm trying to understand, I'm lacking the ability to understand.
Very disturbing. Let's hear from you folks. What do you make of all of this? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Remember all the talk about making this a green island? And but with what? Just technology but no people? Is that what we did? What happened? Did it even happen?
Ragged Island?
Yeah. Did it even happen?
I guess it depends on who you talk to.
Let's hear from this caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Good morning, Deandra.
Hi, good morning.
Deandra, I can identify with you easily because my family is also Long Island. And I'm going to tell you, I'm one of those who have been talking about decentralizing New Providence. And actually, with all the monies being spent in on New Providence proper, to dispense some of this money to our various family islands where we could put in the necessary infrastructure, because I believe this is why a lot of our people actually are leaving the islands and coming here into New Providence, because of the lack of proper infrastructure.
That's what it is.
All the millions and millions of dollars we spend in New Providence, yes, it's necessary, but I am one of those who believe that the future of this country actually is in our various family islands. We have not really benefited our people substantially, and maybe, in contrast, it may be because they figure the numbers are so small on these islands that their voices do not carry weight. But the voices carry weight, look like solely in the electoral cycle. But outside of that, there seems to be no true care for our Bahamian families. And remember now, we're here in New Providence, but many of our family members are actually scattered throughout the family islands. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be that it's a deliberate attempt to empty these islands, force everybody into New Providence. This is why they're not putting the infrastructure in place.
But you remember there were a whole lot of people, unfortunately, after Irma, saying that Ragged Island should not be repopulated. They were saying that it just is not making any sense. So unfortunately, there are quite a few Bahamians who do think like that. It's very sad.
It's unfortunate, Dwight, but I beg to differ, because Ragged Island does play a significant role in the Bahamas. I mean, you may look at some of these places as being insignificant, but every single last island, rock, and key in this country plays a part and a role of who we are as Bahamians. And Ragged Island has rich history in this country as well. I cannot see why they would not have pushed the program forward where they talk about making it a green space. But yeah, make it a green space, but put in the proper infrastructure. I'll close on this one point because of the essence of time. MyCal right now should be considered a hub. We should be able to put something there where it has all of the amenities to serve all of the 5 islands and the surrounding islands, to make it a hub and have a regular flight going in and out of there on a if not a daily basis, but at least 3 times a week. It then helps to create the economy, and it also helps to encourage our people to go back home and try build the islands. But again, we will have this conversation well after this election and probably into the next election, and nothing is going to be done because we're too New Providence-centric.
Thank you very much.
That's all I have to say this morning. Thanks.
All right. Before we get to this call, we do need the Family Islanders to be more vocal, though, right? That we don't hear it. You don't hear enough people saying that we want more autonomy, we want more authority, we want more, and to rely on Nassau less. We need to hear more people saying this.
We do. I agree.
It only comes up when we have horrific incidents like this, where people saying we can't be so dependent on Nassau. You cannot wait days for things to happen.
You have some islands and some pockets of people on those islands that do say we don't need to do that, but then some of us are labeled as troublesome. So And then also, I think, Dwight, a lot of persons may not be able to fully envision what that does look like because they've been traumatized by what already exists. So if they're living inside that reality for generations, because with Ragged Island, like I have a friend from Ragged, right? She used to tell me that in order to spend time with her grandparents, she had to spend like 3 to 4 days on a mailboat just to get there because there were no planes coming. This is when she was a child. We're all like grown adults right now. So
Is it any better now?
That's what I'm saying. No, because you don't have daily flights. Like, and some flights, and I draw attention to this again, we think that even for those islands that have daily flights, that it's just them. No, you have to share with other islands to do so. And I'm speaking on behalf of Long Island. We have to share flights with Sinsal. So Sinsal
That's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but then you have some that only have flights every 2 days, every 3 days, every 4 days. But you have people living on those islands. And then if you have to share your flight with somebody else, then you can't move about. Like, you telling me you only got 15 seats on side of thing on the national flag carrier? I don't understand that. But yet the national flag carrier adding new routes that does not include family islands.
Wow, let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Cousin Dwight, and good morning, Ms. Cartwright.
Good morning.
It's Dwight. Ms. Cartwright, are we surprised?
This one is a little surprising. This story is a little hurtful and surprising. It's a little bit.
Yes, it is. But are we surprised?
I mean, I guess we're not to expect anything better. I guess.
I'm certainly not surprised, but I must beg to kind of differ a little bit with Cartwright and Jeff a bit, because I've been to Ragged Island several times, and I mean, the only thing it looked like Ragged Islanders are doing, a handful of people that is left there just playing out until it is all done, because it ain't like they having babies over there and people going back to stay over there. Ragged Island should be made some kind of hub or something.
You've been there since Irma?
Well, Exuma should be made, like you said, Dwight, down in the back there. They should have major islands like Exuma and them designated to deal with those islands, local government.
Yeah.
So in case
I don't know,
like
you laughed when I
happens,
asked you that. Have you been since the hurricane? Have you been to Ragged Island since then?
I haven't been since the hurricane.
Okay.
But when something like this happens, you just get on the horn and say, Exuma, okay, we got a problem, Ragged Island, boom, y'all handle that. Why is it so difficult?
Yeah,
you understand?
It doesn't make sense.
Now, the other thing, when are you going to get to that this morning with the $42 million loan?
I'm not sure. I do want to get to the smuggling bill. Some things were said last week before the debate starts today.
Okay, that is just as important, because it's an interesting thing surrounding this $42 million loan. Very interesting. But anyway, I'll hang up and call you back later.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah. Let's take these calls before we get to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. You're live. No, let's take the other call there. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
How you doing, my brother?
Doing well.
Well, Dwight made some good contribution a while ago, Marvin. Dwight, I can try to keep it short on them. I believe in God, my country, and my Bahamians. See, Dwight, they don't want a local government in islands or none of our islands. You know why? You don't have to go run into the Prime Minister or the Cabinet Ministers for contract or job or whatever. See, first world country under this. If you're qualified, you get a job, You have a lot of people in these ministries getting contract, NIB, everybody still getting jobs, in line. Some of them don't know what the hell they're doing. But see, Dwight, let me tell you something. See, and sometimes you get a little frustrated, but sometimes I disagree with you. Let me tell you something. Inago is a good place. I was in Inago for 25 years ago playing baseball with the Packers and Eddie long time. Inago could be the hub for the southern Bahamas, they call Guam and Abaco is for the northern. You have town planning, and I say town planning, real town planning, not no bunch of lazy people that miss you waste. Town planning means everything designed. You ain't getting more than 5-story building, everything is zoned, everything nice and pretty. Those planes that flying from Europe and come, they can stop and fuel, the ships and everything. We could build a good detention center right there on Inagua. Close to these Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and put them right there and let the people come for them. But they don't want these things. We had 4 prime ministers of this country who still live in I can deal with all of them come next year because they're gone now. They're in charge of land and our money. 18 billion worth of debt. Nobody will feel a landholder in our back yet. See, why sometimes you just have to let people talk. Because you ain't going to say anything. I can say anything. Come next year, I love Louis George, you know. I'm going to with him, you know. They went to the United Nations. I can try and draft up something, and all the West him in this country, I come and beg you for money to bring up the challenge. A lot of these things they're trying to pass and put on our people. They're here and gone. I try to be focused, but be plenty of things they come to pass. But then, do your job, please. Go on.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's take this call, and then we'll get your messages and go to a break. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I call to say, every time anybody mentioned Lincoln Bain, they shut him down. But he was totally right. He made the government pull that bill and have to go and tweak it over. Every time you say anything about Lincoln Bain, like the whole media is get a frenzy and want to shut you down for saying anything about Lincoln Bain. And they hate to admit that he was really right about what he was trying to do to say to the government. The government is trying to push things down the Bahamian people's throat that they ain't making no sense.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to sound like I'm shutting you down because I don't know why you would just out of nowhere, when we were talking about this tragedy that happened in Ragged Island, start talking about that. But you see, so focus. That's part of the problem here. Let's read some messages as we go to the break. And he wasn't right. But the bill does need some tweaking. Hopefully it'll be tweaked. We'll get to that in a bit. This person says, didn't the government say this was going to be a green island? Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. But Green Island with no police. So I don't know what that's about. Please take a trip to Crooked Island and see the neglect. Roadworks going on from 2021 and still not completed. This administration is a total disgrace. Well, I think every single administration has forgotten the Family Islands, right? Name one that has done them right. Name one. I'm torn on this one. After the Category 5 storm hit Ragged Island, the residents of Ragged Island were told the island was uninhabitable and should be abandoned. They took it upon themselves to move there because it's home. Does that mean human beings should be abandoned? No, but everyone needs to consider the consequences of their choices. Now, stop right there, because that was suggested, but that was not what happened. And as we said, the decision was made to reinvent Ragged Island and make it a green island that got lots of international attention. So that was not the case. Now you're saying they deserve, is that what you're saying? They deserve this? Come on now. Should we say that about Grand Bahama?
I can't take it.
Abaco?
I can't. Not today.
This text was asking, who's the MP? The MP is Chester Cooper, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And now what? We're going to be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. Leave them right here under the tree for...
For Santa or for CIBC Caribbean?
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
got your first look at traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. In your real-time traffic, we're seeing heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway as usual. From just north of Fire Trail, you see that heavy traffic as you approach Harold Pond, straight through to Tonic Williams Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. Over on Blue Hill Road, also busy for you. Carmichael backed up a bit as well. Eastbound to Blue Hill. From there, straight up to Independence Drive, you're going to see that slow-moving northbound traffic. And Soldier Road at the East Street intersection, you're going to be seeing slow-moving eastbound traffic. That way, Independence Drive backed up westbound to the roundabout Blue Hill Road. That area not looking pleasant right now. And then we've got Prince Charles Drive into Robinson Road. Very slow-moving traffic on Robinson. Straight up to about Old Trail. And Soldier north of that intersection on the way to Bernard Wolfe and Village Road, seeing some very slow-moving traffic, heavy as well right now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your goals happen here. And we've got another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. So we've had a severe weather warning and a thunderstorm warning in effect. Weather watch and thunderstorm warning in effect till about 7:45. That was for North Abaco and Bimini. We'll see if that gets renewed. But it's all as a result of a cold front that is moving in to the northern islands right now, going to eventually make its way to the northwest Bahamas before stalling, and that's bringing unsettled weather. That bad weather there is going to be for the northern islands today, but into the northwest Bahamas by this evening into tonight. Conditions will improve across the northern islands by Tuesday, though, as the front moves across the northwest Bahamas, and that's going to increase shower and thunderstorm chances over the northwest Bahamas, gradually spreading into the central Bahamas by later in the day on Tuesday. The front's expected to stall just south of the northwest Bahamas by midweek, keeping conditions unsettled for the northwest and central islands. Weak high pressure and a light wind regime will reestablish itself for the remainder of the work week as the front pulls up into the southwest Atlantic. For today, though, there remains a moderate risk of rip currents, mainly across Atlantic waters of the southeast Bahamas, and a high risk of rip currents along the shorelines of Inagua. Beachgoers and swimmers in those areas are urged to exercise caution and avoid entering Atlantic waters. And again, with the front moving through, there's a marginal to moderate risk of a few moderate to severe thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening hours across the northern and northwest Bahamas into tonight. For most areas today, partly cloudy to cloudy, elevated rain and shower chances for the northern islands and eventually the northwest Bahamas. And that will continue into Tuesday for the northwest and central Bahamas. More on your extended outlook coming up in our next weather check. This weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Take a test drive in the Geely Radara all-electric pickup and enter to win an exciting box of everything you need for a great Christmas. Visit Easy Car Sales, the only Radara authorized dealer in the Bahamas.
Transform your home for less at Kelly's House & Homes Holiday Paint Sale now through Wednesday, December 24th. Enjoy 25% off house and spray paints plus 20% off paint supplies, except on net items. Our wide selection of paint colors is the perfect way to bring holiday cheer to your home. You'll also find the best selection of brushes, rollers, pans, glue, ladders, paint thinner, and more. So catch the holiday spirit and paint up for Christmas at Kelly's House & Homes Holiday Paint Sale, going on now through December 24th.
Care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright on this Monday morning. We are talking about what's in the news. Coming up in a bit, though, we're going to be talking about the National Health Strategic Plan for 2026 through 2030. That's an actual thing. We're going to get details about that in just a bit. That's coming up. But we continue to talk about it in the news. And before the break, we were talking about this just very sad issue coming out of Ragged Island. And if you're just joining us, we'll read a little bit of this again for you, or Rachel Scott writing about it. After he died on Wednesday afternoon, 57-year-old Hollis Curling's body lay in bed in his Duncantown home for nearly 24 hours while relatives waited for officials to arrive on Ragged Island to examine him. His sister, Amanda Curling, said the family was instructed not to move his body because it was a police matter, but no police have been permanently stationed on the island since 2017. When Hurricane Irma tore through the community, leaving it without some of the most basic infrastructure. Again, he was there. Rigor mortis had set in. The room was not air-conditioned. As the family waited for someone to come from Nassau, waited for the undertaker to arrive from Nassau to deal with this matter. We're questioning what's going on here, what is happening. It's the first time I've heard that there wasn't a police, not even one on Ragged Island. Deandra had not heard that before either. And so many things we know not there on the island have to wait or deal with other islands for it. And as she's pointed out, there are not regular flights. We rarely have flights between other islands where you don't have to go through Nassau, right? And it's very frustrating.
To be fair, you have smaller airlines.
Mm-hmm. But it's mainly charter flights, right?
I guess you would call them charter flights, but it's like smaller airlines with smaller planes that may operate. But that's not the case with every island or every pair of islands that do that. So it's not a normal occurrence. And again, Ragged Island is one of those that it's infrequent. Their travel opportunities. But I don't... It saddens me how our southern islands are treated.
Yeah. This texture says here, because we've been saying, well, if we had real local government, we could decentralize. You wouldn't need Nassau, and even if an island was too small to have its own everything, you could have a hub closer to it. We're not even doing that. This person says here, we do not need local government. We need a central government that runs properly. You cannot say that a car isn't working because the driver can't drive. Replace the driver and the car works perfectly. I don't know what you're trying to say here. This doesn't make any sense. But again, central government does not need to be involved in the minutia of life. And that is how we've set this country up, right? Every single silly decision has to be made by somebody in Nassau. People will not move unless someone in Nassau tells them what to do. It's madness. If you think that's fine, if you think that's how you grow a country, well then... I guess you are very well placed in this little land we're in. We'll take another call before we get back to your messages. You can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Yeah, we're taking that call. Yep, caller, good morning. You're live on the air. Good morning, caller.
Dwight, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Hi.
And to your co-host. Something I've always said about the Bahamas. Sorry about the noise in the background. I'm already on the road. But something I've always said about the Bahamas is that it kind of reminds me so vividly about a scripture that I like. It's Jeremiah. He says that if you have run with men and tired, how will you compete with horses? If you stumble in the peacetime on the land, how will you do in the thicket, Jordan overflow? And the scripture is simply saying that if you fumble and mess up in the small little things, how are you going to deal with the bigger things? We something as basic as a morgue. You saw in COVID-19, they had just trailers you could use, and turn them on. You could turn them on and turn them off as often as you need. It doesn't have to be a permanent operating in terms of burning up energy. You just turn it on as you need it and turn it off when you don't need it. That's not a very far-fetched ask by the people of the Bahamas from their government. It is such a basic, decent place to put people in times of bereavement. Last night, talking about just functioning in basic things. Last night, Air Canada was supposed to have landed in Exuma with a flight full of passengers. As much money as we spent on trying to invite these people to the Bahamas. Apparently, the airport was scheduled for some construction. Air Canada, to their fault, took off late. But it appears that nobody made any contingency plan. They commenced the construction on the airport. Air Canada arrives at Exuma for landing, and it can't land because there's construction going on the airport. So the flight circles for 1 hour over Exuma, then makes its way to Nassau, where it lands here, sits on the airport for 2 hours, misses any connection that could have taken the people to Exuma on a smaller aircraft. And then the people finally get stranded here during the night, simply because we couldn't properly arrange a basic airport runway construction and then facilitate the landing of an aircraft. That's where we are as a people. And I'm saying to you that we are better than this. We could do better than this. But the problem is we keep thinking that we could fail in the small things and succeed in the big things.
Well,
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Have
Thanks
a
so
nice
much.
day, Dwight.
I appreciate it. Okay. Back to your text messages. This person says here, Strachan, here's the thing. How many members of parliament can list 4 settlements on 5 family islands? What? That's why stories like the one in the news will be in the news 10 years from now. Imagine 5 foreigners going to one of these neglected islands and doing their own thing. Okay, I mean, I think most of them could name. What's your point? It doesn't even matter. They could name all of them, and yet they still will look like this, and it will still be in the news in 10 years. That's a scary thing. They know it intimately. They could name almost all the people living in these settlements, and yet here we are. What's the point? Okay. Stating the obvious, it is money and it's a money and resource issue. It's easy to forget this as the politicians pretend otherwise. However, we know it isn't sufficient money to fund the necessities even in New Providence. You know, if you feel that you have to do it yourself, you will have a challenge. Right? And that's the issue with central government. You're going to prioritize things based on population size and will put things on the back burner, or even take it off the stove entirely. But if folks were left to, and this is what people were talking about, right? The fear that politicians have that you won't need us anymore. If we say, fine, we're going to have a bunch of people who are our friends donate the hospital and donate this and donate that stuff, and we won't need you guys in Nassau. And that's very scary to them. But that could definitely happen. We know we have a lot of people who love the Bahamas, Bahamians who are abroad, who would want to do things but not want to deal with certain people in the government. And if they could bypass it and deal with local authorities, we'd be shocked at how some of our country would look. But that's not, certain folks wouldn't like that.
No.
And if Nassau were to look like a dump compared to some other places, it could be a problem. But this is working. This is definitely working. What we're seeing is working for a lot of people. Not everybody, and definitely not the people on the islands, but it's working for people who want it to work.
So Dwight, going back to our conversation, or the part of this conversation about, access, infrastructure, resources, and all of that, I was just trying to book a flight to a Ragged Island.
Just now?
Just now. Bahamas Air doesn't fly to Ragged Island. At all, right? Southern Air flies, right? I mean, first of all, let's just appreciate that the national flag carrier does not go to every single island in the Bahamas.
Now, to be fair, they said that was a strategy to allow some of the private companies to have some of the business too, right? Wasn't that?
But again, as I could speak this way as a Southern Bahamian.
I know it
right?
hurts. It hurts
Because when I see you starting routes somewhere else other than my hometown, in my country,
it hurts
that you're the national flag carrier for, that does make me feel some type of way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I go on to Southern, one of the smaller companies.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's difficult to find open seating, to even get the fare. Dwight, did you know that a flight...
Well, how often are the flights?
I see that they're every other day.
To Ragged Island?
Right, but they're booked out, like today is the 8th. The earliest I can get on here is the 17th of December.
Boy.
Right. And then to get off, I can only get off on the 24th of December. Right. Now, again, it could be some other dates, but it's kind of quirky. Right. The flight, Dwight.
How many seats is that?
$460.
What now?
$399.36. And taxes and fees are $60.64. So to get to Ragged Island and back, if you're able to secure a seat, cost almost $500.
Ragged Island in the Bahamas?
Ragged Island in the Bahamas.
Oy.
I want to see if I could find another airline that could potentially get me there, but Southern Air is the only one that comes up apparently.
You might have to charter. Let's see what I don't know if you can find that.
I mean, a chartered flight, I think, depending on who you go with, the size of the plane and whatnot, you can get there for like maybe $800, $1,000.
Wow! Oh boy. Okay. Well,
so I'm wondering, to get the people from New Providence to help the family. Did the family have to absorb that cost, or should have been the government saying that there were no police officers on the island?
That's a great question.
And there was no functioning morgue. Like, who's going to pay for that flight? Because if a commercial flight is almost $500 a seat, what about a special flight because they don't have the resources there?
Wow.
But then again, that's probably a lesser cost than staffing the police station in their mind.
You need to say that again, because that's exactly how they're thinking. When there's an issue, we just fly somebody in. That'll cost a lot less than having someone living there and losing their mind because nothing's happening for 363 days of the year. But my goodness, Dwight, is the Prime Minister really saying those words on the news? What are we talking about? Okay. I'm not sure what that's about. How much do small island communities contribute to the overall economy? Now, where are you going with this, Texter? Look at this. You hear this? You ever tried moving into one of those islands and experienced the way those people treat you as a foreigner? That's what they call you, being a Bahamian from another island. Try making a business there. Their economies are too small and there's no funds to sustain them. So what's your text about? So forget them, screw them. Yeah, that's what they get. That's what you're saying.
That is.
What are you saying?
This is powerful. That's what this is.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Oh boy. 323-6232. 325-4316. Remember they told people leave? They wanted them to leave.
Listen.
Plenty of people were calling this show and saying we shouldn't go back to Ragged Island. Ain't nothing there. Let them come to Nassau.
Mm-hmm. I say don't go back.
325-4259. 242-300-5720. This texter says, y'all better stop playing. Bahamians go through this every day. The high cost of everything. Just go to Andros. It's $200. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning, Deandra.
Morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I don't know if you're familiar with, when the Turks and Caicos were a part of the Bahamas, right?
It's long
and
before
the issue
all
what they had, right, is that the fact that Nassau was too far from Turks and Caicos, and they saw that, the problem they was going to have is the same problem with our southern islands are facing today.
Sort of. That's kind of what it was. Apparently, it had a lot to do with salt mining, and
but that was
money
kind of
going
it too.
back.
That was also part of it because the capital is too far.
Well,
right?
They weren't getting the money, as we hear from Islanders now, family Islanders now, that what we put into the economy, we're not getting back.
Right.
And so that's what they were saying.
Right. So, but we experience that's exactly what we are facing in our family islands. They are collecting tax from these family islands, but nothing is going back.
Yeah, so you're saying
absolutely nothing is going back.
Providenciales would have looked like Ragged Island had they stayed with the Bahamas. That's
They
what
would have
you're
looked just like Ragged
Oh,
Island.
my
if they
God.
But right, the status quo is doing a good
Wow.
job making sure nothing changes in this country, man. Right, and you know that's hey, we all collectively have to fight this status quo. You know, because at the end of the day, we looking for changes, and we are people them who ain't interested in no changes, and they ain't shame of what they are saying. They're not shame. They will find excuses and give us the reason why nothing has changed over these years, man. We have to upgrade our thinking abilities in this country so that we can move forward as a people, man.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. Let's take a final call, and we got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. No? Okay, that was a call. Let's take the break. When we come back, I want to get, before the debate starts on the smuggling bill, what officials have been saying. Yeah, another deep sigh. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This New Year's Eve, Bahamar invites you to experience a night where luxury meets pure island energy. A night designed for those who want to welcome 2026 in unforgettable style. On Tuesday, December 31st, the party ignites on the shores of Cable Beach with dazzling entertainment, premium open bars, gourmet food experiences, and a midnight fireworks spectacular lighting up the sky. And headlining the celebration, one of the biggest names in global music, Grammy Award-winning superstar Sean Paul, live at Bahamar, bringing an explosive performance that will carry you into the new year with non-stop vibes. Indulge in a taste of Bahamar Culinary Showcase, dance under the stars, and immerse yourself in the ultimate New Year's experience, all at the Caribbean's leading luxury resort destination. Make this your most iconic New Year's Eve yet. Secure your tickets now at bahamar.com/events. Bahamar, life spectacular.
Santa's not the only one delivering good deals this season. Aquapure's Christmas coupon special is here. Grab a book of 10 5-gallon coupons for $37.50 plus VAT, regularly $42.50 plus VAT. These coupons never expire, which makes them great for gifting or staying hydrated all year long. Make your holidays flow with Aquapure's Christmas coupon special by calling 394-7873 or ordering online at aquapure242.com. Aquapure, joy for the holidays.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC has sweetened the season so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And it's time for your final look at weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. So we've got an approaching cold front near the northern Bahamas, expected to produce showers and thunderstorms across that area, with conditions anticipated to spread into the rest of the northwest Bahamas by later this evening into tonight. High pressure ridging will continue to support gentle to moderate winds while retracting eastwards. So conditions will improve across the northern Bahamas by tomorrow as that front continues to move across the rest of the northwest Bahamas. And that's going to mean increased shower and thunderstorm chances for the northwestern islands. And that's going to gradually spread over the central Bahamas later in the day Tuesday. So that front's expected to stall just south of the northwest Bahamas by midweek, which will mean the unsettled conditions will continue for the northwest and central Bahamas for the next few days. High pressure with a light wind regime will reestablish itself through the end of the work week. For today, there's a moderate risk of rip currents, mainly across Atlantic waters in the southeast Bahamas, and a high risk of rip currents along shorelines in Inagua. And beachgoers and swimmers in these areas should exercise caution and avoid entering Atlantic waters. There is a marginal to moderate risk of moderate to severe thunderstorms today for the northern and northwest Bahamas today through tonight for these areas, especially the northwest Bahamas. So for today, partly cloudy to cloudy with a 30 to 50% chance of showers with isolated thunderstorms by this afternoon for the northern islands, and a 20 to 40% chance of widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by tonight for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. Better conditions for the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy or a mix of sun and clouds today with only about a 10% chance of showers. High temperatures today across most areas, around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 74, 75 Fahrenheit, 23, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Tuesday, again, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions, a 20 to 40% chance of showers with isolated thunderstorms across the northern half of the country and the central Bahamas. And by Wednesday, partly cloudy across the northern and northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy for the central and southeast Bahamas. Still an elevated chance of showers for the northwest and central Bahamas, about 30 to 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. By Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, becoming mostly fair by night. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Art supplies are back at Sherwin-Williams. We've got a fresh stock with new inspiration up to 20% off December 6th through 16th, only at Sherwin-Williams. Your final look at traffic brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. So we're still seeing heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway from just north of Fire Trail straight up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. That's in the northbound lanes there. Your alternate routes, Gladstone Road is going to be busy for you once you get north of Munnings Road on the way to the roundabout with John F. Kennedy Drive, Bahamar Boulevard if you're heading northbound. And some slow-moving traffic on the John F. Kennedy Drive side, that's westbound, especially near Theodora Lane. Six-legged roundabout also seeing slow-moving traffic eastbound on John F. Kennedy Drive. And Blue Hill Road has got a lot of slow-moving traffic both directions, north and southbound, once you're near Soldier Road. And this is going to extend from Carmichael all the way up to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound. Not a pretty place to be. You might want to try some of the alternate routes if you are in that area. East Street looking better for you, but still busy once you're near the Soldier Road intersection. Elsewhere, we've got West Bay Street, a number of spots like Saunders Beach if you're heading eastbound there near Providence Highway, and just east of Arawak Key on near Nassau Street, you're going to be seeing traffic in both directions, east and westbound. And Robinson Road still stuck with the heavy westbound traffic just west of Soldier Road on the way to Old Trail this morning. Pockets along Prince Charles Drive like Beatrice Avenue. And And Fox Hill Road still busy for you, especially northbound right now, heading to that intersection with Prince Charles Drive. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC and by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Get a quote however it suits you. Stop by your nearest branch or get an instant motor quote online at nuainsurance.com. Quick questions or big decisions, they've got you covered.
Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull, Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's, Clarkson, Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
The wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Schedule your test drive of the truck that's built for the Bahamas by visiting easy242.com or call 461-0100.
As an athlete, I've learned that success isn't built on extras. It's built on the essentials. Strength, discipline, smart choices. That's why I'm proud to partner with Bahama Health to introduce Essential 300, a comprehensive health insurance plan that's all about covering what truly matters. Essential 300 is Bahama Health's most affordable major medical plan for groups and individuals. It offers access to a specialized network of care with essential benefits like preventative services. Because real strength starts with staying healthy. You may not be training for a race, but everyone deserves strong and affordable coverage with Essential 300. With Bahama Health, you can feel good about your health plan and protect what truly matters, your health.
For more information, call 396-1350 or visit www.bahamahealth.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeAndre Cartwright. All right, so we've been talking about this for 3 days. We're trying to get to this, but every time there's something happening that causes us to focus on that instead of getting to what officials are saying with the smuggling bill, the anti-smuggling bill, and the debates expected today. We'll get to that in just a bit. You just have to read these messages that came in during the break. And I'm disturbed. The hypocrisy, the duplicitousness, and the just stupidity that's coming from Bahamians is it's
But again,
unbelievable.
are you shocked?
It's worse than I thought.
Okay.
But people are complaining about the situation here in New Providence, but you have opportunities where we could diversify our economy and diversify the population, spread people out by just breaking the chains. Breaking the chains that we have, that we're strangling the creativity of our islands and the people who live on these islands. But we want it to stay like this so we can complain about how crazy things are in New Providence. Yeah. So listen to these messages.
Are you saying my blood pressure is going to rise now?
This person who's been labeled weird guy. I don't know who did that.
Okay.
But this is a texter.
Here we go.
Producer's laughing. Did you do that? But he deserves the name because listen to the text.
Do I have to?
There will never be local government in the Bahamas. The family islands that do not contribute to the economy of the Bahamas are neglected by governments, and they should be left out. Nobody goes to ragged Crooked, Mayaguana, San Salvador, or any other backward island, most of these people get water and electricity for free. That's more than enough. Your generation's lost, bro. You guys need to watch your elders and learn from the nonsense they went through. But you guys think you know everything. That's why I consider you guys lost. That's from Weird Guy.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response.
I want to throw the phone across the room.
No. Hey, don't. The phone did nothing. It's just as a messenger. So okay, that's not abuse the phone.
That's all they did. They get water for free, so whatever. They don't need anything, really. Get over it. You guys.
No, the fact that their island is. You're trying to say that the Southern Islands are backwards. Wow. I wonder. Has this person ever lived on a family island? Has this person ever stayed, visited to even understand the realities? Because if you don't understand, you can't appreciate. You like. I don't. Sorry, not dignifying this with a response. Nope. I'm choosing my battles.
This is not going to get better. There's another text. The plan is for the family islands to be left as a pristine paradise for the very wealthy, moving all natives away to the capital and those beautiful beaches only for those who can afford to live off the grid. Well, clearly that's happening.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, I mean, we could see that.
Yeah.
We could see that. I'm not saying that's the only that could be a part of it.
So how long before you think they sell Ragged Island to some rich billionaire?
But I mean, I heard that was a potential plan after the last hurricane. That's what I was hearing Sip Sip all about.
It's going to get bigger. Ragged Island, then San Salvador, then Mayaguana, then it'll be Long Island, then it'll be right. It'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
If we actually look at the amount of second home owners that are on our family islands, I feel like the average Bahamian would be considering just how complex the situation is a little bit more, because a lot of our family islands have persons who are not from our country holding property there. And they like the quote unquote rustic lifestyle because that's what they're going to the islands to do. So again, I don't know, is it a version of neocolonialism thing going on? Like I don't want to go down the show this morning because then it's going to just make me upset, and I don't want to be upset first thing on a Monday.
Well, if that story didn't make you upset, I don't know what.
No, it did. It did literally because my people also live similar realities. So it just reminds me of something.
You're right. They might as well have said they have to wait till the guy comes from London, right? This is what we've become. We're doing, as you said, neocolonialism. We're doing the same thing that was done to us,
really what it is,
right?
It's to our own people,
and we like it.
That texter
we
basically
like to have
just said
that
it.
power.
If you were not, it's like the Hunger Games. If you're not from District 1, then you don't.
Oh,
you don't
wow.
like
That's
literally how
That's
that texture
powerful.
sounds. So if you're not from the premier district, then you don't matter. It saddens me. Because some people literally think that way.
Wow.
But you're also thinking from a position of privilege.
Maybe
because
we should start playing Hunger Games at Independence around here.
Well,
because it really does seem to be about us.
So the thing is, you just said Independence? Is that okay, so here's this funny thing. You remember, all the pomp and pageantry.
Roots, apparently.
Listen, like when we had all that pomp and pageantry for the 50th, right? I was so excited. I was like, okay, great, wonderful. What are we going to do on Long Island for this? Like, what's happening? We did the same thing that we did every single year. It was like the pomp and pageantry, all the big stuff only happened on New Providence. Like nothing different happened in the family.
You gotta wait for Nassau to tell you what to do,
or for Nassau to send them,
or
money
to send
because
something.
We don't. Apparently, we can't support ourselves, which you can't.
Can't make any decisions.
We need to have when we have these conversations. I think it's maybe we could create a brief, right? An economic brief, because when we're having those conversations, when people say, "Oh, the islanders need to do better," listen, you can't do better if the infrastructure and the resources don't exist. You can't attract people. And if you see people are leaving, it's because the infrastructure and the resources don't exist. You cannot have new businesses thriving in an environment that literally is not built to support them. So it's a catch-22 situation, except you never had what you needed to be successful in the first place. Yeah. And then when you have disasters such as hurricanes happening, it's almost as though that it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. You're already struggling in an economy that cannot support anything in most cases that isn't run by the government. And then you break me to the point where, listen, I can't even do this anymore because the one way for me to sustain myself was damaged during a hurricane. So I got to go. And if we look at the age demographics throughout the islands, yes, it's the older folks primarily, because how can you bring up children inside an environment that is not conducive for their development? But going back to the primary issue, if the infrastructure doesn't exist, if the resources don't exist, or if they're not repaired properly, I mean, for goodness sakes, you don't have a police person on Ragged because you're trying to say that there's some commentary online. I'm looking at the commentary for this, at the story online. Somebody is saying that Ragged Island has less than 100 people on it, so they don't deserve these things. How dare you say something like that?
Yeah.
Like, why would you say something like that? But
those
this is
things.
how people actually think. Are we not looking at the circumstances as to why there are only 100 persons allegedly on Ragged Island? And then, like, this has been our case since we started as a country, and we didn't just start as a country in 1973. We became quote unquote independent, but we've been around for hundreds of years. Like, how do we see this?
But you can. It's an interesting point you're bringing up. You can see it from the 50s and 60s where the population changed. We had a lot of islands that had almost equal population.
Listen, the thing about it is that this person was saying Anago and them could have been the hubs and whatnot like that. They were the hubs. They were the. Do we all see? I think we also don't know our history. And again, as a younger person, I hang out with a lot of older folk. I've listened to stories.
The population was more dispersed.
Right. You had more persons on the island. You had more autonomy. You had people who actually, it was industrious, trying to support yourselves. This situation is very complex. So if we try to simplify it to say, oh, it's because of hurricanes or it's because of movements, no, we need to look at why. The whys, what changed, what shifted. You had islands in the south that were actual hubs that literally received hundreds of ships on an annual basis, that it no longer happens that way. And then we don't ask ourselves, why doesn't it happen that way? You can imagine if that type of shipping lane still existed to this day. Imagine if these islands in the south had the opportunity to dredge their harbors as what we do here in New Providence. Have you ever wondered why we don't have the opportunities for cruise ships to go to other islands? Because they can't sustain it. They cannot sustain it. New Providence could barely sustain it in most cases or whatnot. But when we're looking at the opportunities of foreign direct investment, is it possible to even have that on family islands? Have we also asked the question as to why the majority of our investment comes to New Providence? And then I go back to our conversation from a couple of weeks ago, Dwight. Grand Bahama, Freeport's supposed to be the second city, and where do you see that?
Disaster. Let's take this call quickly, and I want to read these messages before we have to break for news. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan and DeAndre. Yeah, I like how DeAndre pointed out about Grand Bahama, which really, most people know Grand Bahama economy is not improving, and it basically affects the world. But Mike, that text who you calling the Rega, you say he's an anti-local government?
He said there'll never be local government.
Well, I know the last text who texted about the land. The last text is not lost. And I like to say hats off to them, but basically there's a blueprint for tyranny that I was begging you guys to read. It's called the Iron Mountain Report. It speaks to all of these different things, and basically fusing everybody together is not a new concept. In global psychology, it's called group psychology. And so what happened is the cities are built for that reason, for the futuristic implementations of technology to create a surveillance grid. So the more people live together, the more control the government have. But I don't want to get into it because I'm a fool. And then what we can do is I want to juxtapose this with that. The fact that carbon accounting, right? Even though I'm looking at the science, which is BS for me. I want to know if we're using 2,220 or we can use the full American version 2,000. And also, why can't the government use right here, but the debt for nature swap, DeAndre? I don't know if you guys read it. And so the rewilding of America, the Wildlands Project, all of these things, the biodiversity in America, you have to juxtapose these things, So now, watch this. We have where you can voluntary trading carbon market. Can get these, since these islands are sparsely populated, you have the debt for nature swap, which I see no need for once you're trading carbon credits, et cetera, et cetera. You can't do the carbon accounting and take some of that money and try to invest in these islands in some kind of way. So, I mean, it's basically, and DeAndre, the neglect, the contempt, the abuse, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, we can see for ourselves. Bless up.
Okay, all right, thanks a lot. This texter says here, you are misunderstanding the point being made. The families moved, listen to this, Deandra. The families moved knowing there was no infrastructure. Huh? I recall the story of them leaving children behind because there was no school, possibly no sanitation. I would not force a police officer to live on an island under those conditions either. They already complained about the deployment to Inagua. The decision to move to an underserved island was a personal choice. Should things be better? Yes, but this is reality. Okay. Long Islanders can't complain about being included because their residents think they are special and they only help their own. What? So when these islanders make Nassau or people from other islands feel like a foreigner, they shouldn't complain about being included in Nassau's affairs. Not understanding what's happening. Don't know what's going on. This is a mess. So last week it was all we hate the Haitians, and now we hate other islanders in the Bahamas. We hate everybody. Everybody hates everybody. What is happening? What's going on here? What?
I am trying. My brain is trying to unravel what that text means.
People are basically saying these people deserve what they get on these islands. I don't understand.
Well, look, because the first part of that says that they support their own. When you live the reality that if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. That's your reality. So are you saying that family islanders should no longer rely on themselves and others to get things done because they know it's not going to happen otherwise? I do not understand. Again, if you don't know the reality, you cannot fully appreciate, and that's not. I'm not calling anybody out, but that's the truth. And that's okay. But what's not okay is that if you do not try to do the research or talk to people who have these lived realities to know what they face.
Disturbing, folks. Very disturbing. We got to go to the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We'll be back in a few.
Here's the Sure-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp, stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find color in every day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Man, I can't wait to eat. I am starving.
You know our spot never disappoints. Boy, I left my wallet in the room. No way I'm going back.
Relax, buddy. You've got your phone, right?
Yeah, I do. Perfect. Just pay with $100 from your digital wallet. Good thing $100 transactions are seamless, safe, and convenient.
Yep, $100 save the day.
Experience the convenience of $100, the digital currency of the Bahamas. Whether you're dining out or anywhere else, $100 ensures seamless transactions. Join the future of payments with $100.
It's an island love Christmas. Joy's in the air. The jackpots are rising. There's luck everywhere. No snow on the ground. Just sunshine and cheer. It's an island love Christmas. Best time of year.
Island Luck wishes you a Merry Christmas and a Lucky New Year.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own. and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, December 8th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. All right, so we've been teasing this for days. We haven't had an opportunity to get to it because there's been so much other stuff in the news, but we're going to get to it finally today. So we have had a lot of commentary. Lots of folks have been giving their views on the anti-smuggling bill that the government tabled. The debate is expected to start on that today in the House. And it's a smuggling of migrants bill. So since our initial conversation about this a few days back, we've heard from the Attorney General, we've heard from the Commodore of the Defense Force as they seek to explain the bill. The government saying they've heard the complaints and where there is ambiguity, they will try to address it. There's some language that is a bit questionable or leaving people a little concerned. But the comments from Ryan Pinder at a press briefing a few days back, really interesting. Take a listen to what Attorney General Ryan Pinder had to say.
The bill we tabled did not give migrants any new right to enter the Bahamas. No new right to remain in the Bahamas or to receive any legal status in the Bahamas. It did not take away any power that we have under our Immigration Act to arrest, to detain, to charge, or to remove people who are in breach of our laws and who are in the country illegally. The purpose of the bill is not to change who is allowed to stay. Its purpose is to give us sharper tools to go after criminal smugglers who profit from exploiting desperate people and who add to the number of people in our country without a legal right to be here.
Okay, all right. Everybody heard that? Yep. And we had, during our discussions last week, a number of people saying, well, this is not going to serve any purpose because they haven't heard of any boats being interdicted or anybody coming here on a boat in a long time. Do Haitians even come here? And again, it's not just about Haitians, but do they even come here on boats anymore? Which is very silly. I need everybody to be logical in the way and rational. Is it possible in the way you discuss matters, especially publicly in your head, in your bedroom? Perhaps you could be as wacky as you want, but when you open your mouth in public, think about it. Just because you haven't heard of something, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I know you want to be seen as the most important person in the entire world, and that if you don't know about it, it doesn't matter. Sure, but that's not how it works in reality. Take a listen to what, I'm sure many of you won't believe it, but take a listen to what the Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Floyd Moxey, had to say.
Over the last 5 years, spanning 2021 to today's date, December 4th, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force has interdicted or assisted in the interdiction of 344 vessels that were involved in migrant or smuggling-related activity. From those interdictions, 11,791 migrants were apprehended.
Okay, so the clip there, but quite a few, almost 12,000 have been deported, and 300 plus vessels in the last few years there. That's quite a sizable number. But let's get your reaction to it. The government again says that it will try to mend any of the ambiguity in the bill, but that at its core, this bill is not changing anything, and that people who come here illegally will be treated in the same way they've always been treated. People who've overstayed will be treated the same way they've always been treated. There are penalties. There's possible jail time. There's definitely deportation. All of those things stay the same. But the fact that smugglers, there was little that was being done to really address that issue. That has to be addressed now, and that's a lot of pressure internationally as well for less ambiguity with regards to them. What you're doing about the people who are part of these often very well organized smuggling operations. Okay, so let's hear from you on this. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. You can call us toll free, 242-300-5720. DeAndre, we had a caller earlier who said that if it hadn't been for Lincoln Bain, nobody would be talking about this. I'm not sure if that is true, but definitely brought light to this matter. And now, yes, the government says they've recognized that there are some issues that cause concern, and they will be dealing with it. But here we are. So where do we go from here? Are people satisfied with what has been said? Are you satisfied that your concerns will be addressed, that this will be tweaked in a way that will be more understandable and pleasing? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. This text says here, why are they debating a bill that the Attorney General acknowledged has multiple ambiguities? Why not correct the bill, then debate it? And comments from the AG, the Prime Minister, Latrell Ramming, or Fred Mitchell that are outside the bill are not law. Nobody's going to court. And showing the Facebook post from Latrell Ramming, the law is the law, and the law has to explain itself. Well, it's not the law yet, but perhaps today they will present the adjusted. I'm not sure. Perhaps. Right? Perhaps. The law literally says where there's a conflict between it and previous laws, this new law takes precedent. Why even include that clause if it doesn't change anything? And then, that's the issue there. Where there's a conflict, and what is the conflict? Who will determine the conflict? And is the conflict going to be what you think? I know automatically people are thinking that the conflict means that relates to the people being smuggled in, and that will trump. Not necessarily. No. Not necessarily at all. And again, that's why you need less ambiguity in the language. We know that is it. Lawyers and people who write legislation seem to love it very much. But I agree with you that needs to be cleared up. What does that mean exactly, and what could potential conflicts be?
Again, do we have perhaps a packet of the relating laws to this to consult for its consideration? Because, usually when we're crafting laws, you have to, sorry, me saying we, but the country is crafting laws, you draw together all of the existing laws that could potentially apply to it, right? And then either in footnotes or in the initial paragraph, there will be some sort of references to it, but also just from general research, just to know what it pertains to. I think context is very important here, but also outcomes, right? Because if they're trying to address a particular situation, there may be mention of that situation in other laws, and that may have different outcomes. What I think also we're not, perhaps not paying as much attention to, and I think we all should too, is that, these could also be, I wouldn't say derivatives of international law, but there are international laws as well on matters such as this. There are domestic laws in other countries that we could look at. Have we, those of us who are commenting, have we done enough research to see, okay, is this in line with what other countries do?
Mm-hmm.
Is this in line with what is internationally accepted? Is it in line with our international obligations? Because when we're talking, a lot of persons are caught up on the potential rights that may be given to persons who are being trafficked, being smuggled, whatnot. But is this in line with what we as a country have signed on to do?
Well, that's what they're saying. This is in line. We have not been doing what we signed on for before, and this will correct it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if a lot of persons are looking at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's take some of your calls.
And also, trafficking is different than asylum seeking, and they're different.
Well, all
types
are different,
of
right?
movements.
Asylum seeking, smuggling, and trafficking are three different things.
Again, which is why they will probably have different accompanying pieces of legislation that may speak about a variation of that movement, which is migration, and why you would include language to say that this would supersede or would be the foundational piece of legislation to go with. Because technically you should be amending, and I could be wrong, I'm not a lawyer, just have some legal, just a little bit of legal training, right? You'd have to go or should amend those other ones. But again, usually if the newer law actually says that it's setting it, then you listen to that. But who knows? I think, we're looking at the legislation, we're trying to break it down. Now, I'm just wondering if we're only doing this because it's silly season.
Well, the fact that certain people were calling the asylum bill when that's not in here at all. No. Silly indeed. I don't know if it's just a season or just a way of life. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning,
Hi.
Cartwright.
Good morning.
Alan Johnson. Dwight, the Attorney General said that he would withdraw the bill, correct the wording, and present it back to the public. And I guess this is just like the same thing they said with the data protection bill, the biometrics bill, and all the other bills that has been brought in. That simply they just rammed it down our throat, and we will deal with the consequences over time. Dwight, there's sensibility in presentation, and this bill touches on our Immigration Act, the Proceeds of Crime Act, Trafficking Persons Act, and other acts in our already in law. And it says whenever there becomes a conflict, that this bill will take precedent over those, even though you have the National Security Minister saying one thing, the bill itself conflicts it in his positioning that he has put forward. But Dwight, the easiest thing to do is to bring like you say, you have consultation, governance without consent of the governed. It's the definition of failure. You could bring this bill and say, here is what this bill does that these other bills don't do. You're not having that conversation.
Right. Yeah.
Yet, yes, this bill strengthens from these other bills that these other bills lack. And so there's a gap analysis, right, in anything that we do. And if you want to take citizens with you and remove the ambiguity, or whatever it's called, from that the Attorney General himself admitted there is, then just have a conversation. I mean, is it too much to ask for vehemence? For you specifically, Dwight, have heard all of the noise in the marketplace over the last years, and more so where people call and concerning that you're out of touch about what happens here, there, and everywhere. So why not have a conversation with us to remove those fear, whatever concerns, whatever you want to define it as, misinterpretation, understanding, because everybody's a lawyer now. Everybody's an immigration officer now. Everybody's everything now.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, the public
so
relations.
Have a conversation.
It definitely needs a lot of work.
Simple process. Huh?
Yeah, definitely needs a lot of work. More of the public consultation process.
But just let me end in saying is that this government has no desire to govern with consent of the governed. They have demonstrated that. They've demonstrated their lack for clarity. They've demonstrated their lack of freedom of information and involvement of the human people. They have become our lords, and we should not question them.
Do you remember a time when it wasn't like that? I just feel like it's
we
always been
tend
like
to make
this.
progress. But I can tell you one thing, Dwight. Two things we need in this country that we avoid all about. We talk about local government around the edges, right? And we talk about the fact that Freeport already has local government.
Only you say that.
No, I'm saying
Right.
in its intent, not in its execution.
Oh, okay.
Right? But I'm saying it, but we don't need to go back to revisit it. We don't need to do any of these things. But we talk about what is possible, but for so many people who have never, ever experienced the power of local government, it is an abstract to them. And the next thing we need is technology. And energy ties into that. And so until we get these three things right, we are going to find ourselves totally left behind because we are accelerated. The world is accelerating. Dwight, you and I talked about technological supremacy, digital supremacy, and all these things that I talked about for years. We don't have to talk about them anymore. I don't even talk about them anymore about coming, You know why I don't talk about them coming, Dwight?
Why?
Because they're here.
Okay.
And that's the problem, is that even though it's here today, because we are purely consumers, we don't even recognize that the debt killed for many of the things we take for granted is here unless we actually move to disruptive action for what we used to do to embrace what we can do.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the call. All right, let's take this one. Then we've got a few of your messages to get through. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Dwight, Garoni, Leandra. Morning. Your political pundits from the F&M, COI, and the PLP calling into the station. What about those people who are in between, who just want the facts? What I'm afraid of is I don't want a savvy lawyer like Fred Smith used to be and be able to jump to the loopholes. What I want is something written in plain English that I don't need a law degree and I could read for myself, because right now it is written in such a way that I don't know. I don't have a law degree. I could read it, but it may mean something else, or it could be perceived by the judge one way, and there may be loopholes. I don't know. If you listen to the PLP, this is the greatest thing from sliced bread. If you listen to the COI or the F&M, hey, we need to fight this. What I want is we jump on this, and down the road you have a lawyer come in who knows the loopholes and circumvent everything that was put in this bill, which allows immigrants to come in. And that's what I'm afraid of. So that's my concern. If it could be written in plain English and explained just the way it is, and not something in the future where people come in and do everything they said it wasn't going to do. Yeah. And because it's written in law, hey, hands are tied. My last point, just look at as it relates to people being able to apply in 18, even though the two parents could be illegal, but because it's in the Constitution, it's almost like you giving persons a reason to come here illegally, because once you have a child here, because of the law or because of the Constitution, they can apply for citizenship. And it seems that there's no one attempting to amend that. But I don't know. I could be, because I don't have no law degree, but why would you address that?
Yeah. All right, so don't go yet, because you made some really great points. The last point you made, Article 7, we've been talking about that quite a bit, but a lot of the people who seem to be running for office don't want to talk about it, it seems. I'm not too sure what that's about. But we definitely need constitutional reform, and we need to look at Article 7.
You're a smart guy. Wouldn't you plug the boat before you just try to bail out the boat with water still coming in? Wouldn't you try to plug it and then address all these other things that may sprout from it? I don't know. Logically, like I said, I don't have no law degree. You guys are smarter than me, but I'm just saying, on the outside looking in, I would address that particular point first, amend that, or do what you got to
But
do.
that one's going to be tricky because you need a whole referendum, and that's
No,
going to be very,
we
very
could
tough.
switch some referendum and call it an opinion poll. We do that.
Not for that one. No, don't go yet, because you said something else. And you said it could cause the immigrants to come here. Explain what you mean by that. I mean, because
Okay, well, see, like I said, I did reading because I try to do my due diligence. I don't want to be influenced either way. I try to read for myself. But what I'm saying is, what I'm reading, is there any way to, even if I pay Dwight, if I pay you to smuggle me in, yes, I pay you, but the Defense Force or the Coast Guard got us now. Is there any proof that I ain't produced no paper trail to say I paid you or I sent money to you? Is there a paper trail? Who would say that I wasn't trafficked if I say I was trafficked? I'm not going to be held accountable if I say, no, I was trafficked. I didn't pay. How could we prove that I paid and not trafficked? That's what I'm afraid of. You give them almost like a loophole to say, if a bunch of them say, you know what, let's sacrifice the boy who smuggled us in, and we all get together and say, we were trafficked in here.
okay, so but I mean, what are you saying? Because just because you're trafficked doesn't mean you're going to be allowed to stay in the country.
No, not stay. Allow me to come back another day, meaning that I'm not going to be processed or locked up. Because I think somewhere it says that if you're trafficked, you're not going to be charged. You may get deported, which afford me to come back again. I don't have a record. That don't afford me a record because I was trafficked here. It was no fault of mine. So I don't get no record. I don't get nothing because I was trafficked. So I could go back to my country and then try it again. You understand what I'm trying to say, or no?
So is it that you think that the migrant, the person who's being potentially trafficked, or not, they should be criminalized? Their actions should be criminalized?
What's wrong? You mean if I'm paying to get here, should I be not be criminal? Are you saying I shouldn't?
I'm asking your thoughts. So the person who's paying or not paying, no matter what, should be criminalized.
Yeah, if I'm paying to break laws of a country, I should be criminalized. If I'm breaking the laws to get into a different country, I'm breaking the laws. My only question to you would be, if you break a minimum law, will you be charged in this country as a citizen?
So,
or
question:
should you be criminalized for breaking a small law?
So I have a question.
Like running a red light? That's what you mean?
Sure. Should you be penalized? Should you get a ticket? Should you get anything for breaking the law, or as a citizen in this country, or should you be a top on the list?
I have a question for you though. Could you tell me the difference between being smuggled and being trafficked?
If I paid, I made a decision to solicit money from my family, maybe in that offending in the country, the host country, to get out, and I paid the smuggler. I think I made a conscious decision to do so. And traffic, the difference is I had no decision in that.
You're saying that both of them should be criminalized.
No. I'm saying if I'm trafficked, no, you should not be criminalized. But if I paid, you should be criminalized. And
so does that mean for you that they should go to jail?
Well, not jail, but somehow prevent them from, if they come back again, they shouldn't get citizenship. They should.
No, where does citizenship come from? That's not an option at all.
What I'm saying, I link all that back to the Article 7. If I sneak in here, even if I smuggle here, if I have kids, my kids at 18 could have kids. I mean, it could be some citizenship. But if I think they should be criminalized, if I break the law by getting smuggled in here,
unless you know something we don't know. I mean, the person who has a child here illegally, the person who came here undocumented and has a child, that they cannot say, well, my child's going to be a Bahamian, I want citizenship. It doesn't work like that.
No. Well, the parents, they still get it anyway. But
you're testifying. Where are you getting that from? What you have evidence to support that?
See, that's why I think people tend to say you guys don't really know what's going on in your country.
No, but do you've seen this for yourself? You know this for a fact, and it wasn't a fraudulent document.
Yes.
You know someone.
And report it. What you see, and that's what it kind of. That's why I don't call it station too many times, because every time you call and say yes, and you present and say yes, but it gets brushed over.
Can you say who you told these things to, who brushed you aside?
I don't even remember no more because it happened back in the past in Abaco. But I don't even do it no more because nothing happened. Just come with the shanty towns. You report that. You report a shanty town. Nothing happened. You will say, listen, someone's building over there, or someone's doing charcoal over there. Nothing happened. Almost like someone tipped them off, and you see the stuff going. So it gets frustrating, and so people stop doing it.
Mm-hmm. And the people you're reporting this to, who are they? I mean, you don't remember who, but I mean, who are they? Bahamians? Are they?
What I'm going to do is, if it's possible, if I have an email address, or if I could go on your website, I will send you the information when it's done again and who I send it to, if that's okay. Because there's no reason to come on and fabricate stories. It's been happening for decades, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you.
Anyway.
Okay, thank you very
All
much.
right.
I hear the frustration. Thanks a lot. Although, to the point you made about the law and needing a law degree to understand, and that's how almost all of the laws here are written for some bizarre reason. I don't know if we got that from the UK or whatever, but it's insane. It really is, and it makes. I don't know why we continue to do this foolishness, but that's we need
It's
some
because
law
of-
reform across the board.
Yeah, but some of these laws have been in place for literal centuries.
Yeah. So
the
what are we
amount
putting
of
these?
time to
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 Well, you taking a lot of energy to put the people in the house to sit around to not change these old antiquated laws, but
Well,
that's
there's also the people, some of the persons inside the house who don't truly appreciate that they have it within their power to change the laws.
who put them there.
Yeah, well, that's that part right there. Because some
Yeah.
of them have been put there for many cycles. So there's that.
And yet.
With no
and
change.
Yet. So we got who do we blame? Who do we blame? Interesting points. You keep hearing people like that call and say those things. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's anything is possible in this place, right? But who's allowing it to continue to happen? And when you report it, they just turn a blind eye. What's really going on, right? Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jess. You're the host. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Deandra.
Hi, hello. To me, it seems like the bill is a little bit one-sided and only will punish the smuggler, right? The smuggled or supposed smuggled person. We really don't have an issue, or I haven't heard it in the news before, of persons. We have more problems with illegal migrants paying people to bring them here, right? So if the smuggled or supposed smuggled person participated and paid for the smuggler to bring them through our waters, what the bill seems to be protecting is
Not
the
protecting.
Pardon?
There's other legislation to deal with those folks.
Yeah, but how effective have our other legislation been?
Why do you think
recently?
it's not effective?
It's not effective. It hasn't been enforced as
What do you mean? Why do you say that? You heard the
Why
clip
do
you
you say
played?
that? I mean, you just have to look at the amount of shanty towns and places like that where persons are able to set up and continue to be illegal and conduct illegal activities in our country. I mean, that has always been a problem, our enforcement, right? So I think this bill is it's just too, I don't know, in my opinion, too one-sided, right? And, if the person is labeled smuggled, when they might have, I'm not saying they did, when they might have paid the smuggler to get them here so that they could either move on to the U.S. or stay here in this country, I mean, it's not looking at that side of it, right? And how do you prove that? I mean, all they have to say, Dwight, is that, hey, these people, because they dealing in cash, I'm sure they don't have a manager's check saying, okay, Paul sent Lucy or whatever his name is or her name is, paid this smuggler to bring him to the Bahamas, and I paid $5,000. They're not going to say that. So it's a cash transaction more than likely. And all they have to say is, hey, yeah, they smuggled us. They kidnapped us, and they tried to smuggle us through the Bahamas or to the Bahamas for furtherance to the U.S. or wherever they're going. So you see, it's
No. Okay. So let's take this at every step. So you say that, and then what happens? You think
Pardon?
you're just released
You
into
say
the community?
You say that, and the bill is saying that those persons, because of whatever treaties we may have signed up or we're trying to to be on par with other countries that, treat these kind of persons. You have to provide housing. You have to provide
Until
food.
they're deported.
Until they're deported. But how do we know that process, because of our lack of enforcement and accountability and no freedom of information, how do we, as the general public, know that this is actually happening, Dwight?
So now we just have to say it out loud whether you believe that everybody in the country is a liar and that you don't believe what the Commodore was saying, that they've deported nearly 12,000 people over the past 4 or 5 years. And that when officials tell you that when they go into the shanty towns, most of these people are not illegally here. They have work permits or they have status or some sort of status or on the path to status. Do we not believe any of that at all?
Well, we have to be more transparent. However, they want to make that, be it, I don't know how they're going to, be it reporting to the public or having those kind of things available for persons who have, this kind of skepticism about what is actually happening. Because let me tell you, I have seen over the past maybe 5-10 years, I have seen a lot of persons who hardly speak English all over the place, setting up all over the place. The shanty towns are still, look at Abaco, right? They had an opportunity to maintain and have that place, without shanty towns. The place is built up again. Why has that been allowed to continue and get worse? I understand it's getting bigger, right? We have no. It's almost like the check and balance is out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody it's just not.
So I ask you again. So do you not believe the officials? And it's in your right to not believe them. Do you not believe them when they say most of the?
Dwight? It's not a matter of me believing them or not. Is it properly documented?
They're telling you they have checked, they've gone through, and the majority are not.
Yeah, is it possible for us, the Joe Blow, the general public, right? We are the ones that vote and vote these governments in, and we want them to be able to protect us and do things right. But we have to, I think our accountability, enforcement, and transparency is out of whack, right? Mm-hmm. However they want to correct that, it needs to be corrected so that the confidence in our governments and authorities who deal with these things can give us some kind of comfort that, hey, yes, these things are happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if let's just say the word happened, they show you, hey, only about 5 of these people were illegally here, and we've deported them. The rest
Suppose it
have
shows
status.
the other way. I mean, is that just, you know what I mean? Suppose it shows that no, hey, there is some problem with the process. I mean, let's not go there.
Okay, that's a different story, and that's a big problem. Yes, but if it is the way they say, then what does it mean? What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean? It means that we need to be very careful of the kind of bills we want to be passing, that we don't prevent or encourage more loopholes for persons who want to come and break our laws, to come to this country and stay and make their children entitled to what should be an entitlement for Bahamians. That's what.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. The main one, the number one, is Article 7. Fix that. Let's have a referendum on that. Encourage your leaders to move quickly to address that one as soon as possible. It'll be a game changer. But people don't want to talk about it. Why is that? Why is that? Article 7. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, and your guest this morning also.
Hi, good morning.
Yes. What I realize in the Bahamas, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Bahamians get a lot of hysteria over all sorts of nonsense sometimes. I know the bill needs more clarity for the regular, everyday Joe Blow. I understand that. This is what the government said it's going to do. Make sure that some things that Bahamians don't understand, the regular person don't understand, they're going to bring it so it could be more clearer, right? This is just like we going to a referendum, They want a referendum. When you get a referendum, then they still vote no on the referendum. What could you do to please everyone? You can't please everyone. If I was the government, I would just go ahead, make the tweaks in the bill. I mean, with the everyday Joe Blow, let them voice their opinion or what they think need to be tweaked in the bill. I don't think you could get it more clearer than the Commodore of the Bahamas Defense Force explaining, the Attorney General explaining.
Well, again,
Yes,
that's
like
the
said,
issue is whether people believe them.
Right. I
So
understand
that's
Dwight.
a big
But
problem.
I'm saying to you, no matter what we try in this country, is always a pushback. And guess what? At the end of the day,
Okay, so with all due respect, so I know your voice, but I mean, so you know that if this were Minis or if Pindar becomes a prime minister, if they were to try this bill, you'd be up in arms. You'd be up in arms.
I said it's always a pushback, regardless of who is in power, regardless of whatever you try to do to move the country forward. It's always a pushback. And you tell me if I'm wrong for saying that.
Well, especially by the people who are politically affiliated. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my thing is this: if this has already been explained, right, and they said this is not the final version of the bill is going to be tweaked, right? Why we can't voice our opinion as far as writing into the Parliament and writing into your member of Parliament and ask them whatever portion of the bill you don't understand, to have it explained to you a little better before the bill is finalized. That's all I'm saying, Dwight.
Okay, because many times, not all the time, many times they don't listen. That's why.
I understand that, but we have an opportunity to do so if we really truly want to see some changes in the bill, right? Don't we have that opportunity?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll
Have a
see.
nice day.
We'll see. Thanks a lot. A final call before we get to these messages and have to take a break. Good morning, call. You're live on the air.
Morning, sir.
Hi.
I am now 71 years old. From I was a child, I've been having this problem with Haiti. I'm trying to figure out why won't the Haitians them go back to their country and try to fix their country? Everybody just want to come in this country and mash up my little country. Why won't they go back and make their country better? All of these people talking, but they still not going back to Haiti. And our foolish government don't want to do nothing about it. All they want to do is bring these people in here who is no benefit to the country.
Oh boy.
We have to be like Mr. Donald Trump. If you're not beneficial to the country, why would you bring these people in? That's my concern as a 70-year-old man. They need to go back to their country.
Do you
and
think
build their
anybody's
own
saying that to the many Bahamians who are all over the world? Do you think anybody's saying, why don't you go back and fix that Bahamas? You've got tons of problems
it
there.
does not matter.
Oh, what?
It doesn't matter. The problem is we don't have a problem in the Bahamas. We have a legal problem in our country, and we need to not let nobody in this country stop, seize, do whatever they need to do, and stop letting people in the country.
Okay. All right.
Reset the country, see where it take you from there, because all my life, I'm 71 years old. All my life I've been hearing this problem in Haiti. The country is not getting no better, and our government, with their foolish self, wouldn't try to stop and reset the country. The country is going backward. And for the mere life of me, I'm trying to figure out what are the former prime ministers, the former lawyers, judges, all of these people who, and authorities, are just not doing anything about it.
Okay, so
Why would they just sit down and let the country go in a bad state that it's in? It's just going backward. And I don't feel like it's right for the Bahamian people to be taking the Haitian problem. All my life, I've been hearing this problem with Haiti. You think it's going to get better anyway?
Wow. Thanks for the call. Thank you very much. Enlightening. So again, this bill doesn't only address Haitians, but I hear you. Wow. Folks, I've said it before, not as old as that gentleman, but I could tell you this. You know, people have been talking about a lot about who doesn't speak English anymore. Tons of that apparently happening. But never once has somebody from Haiti begged me for money on the side of the road. Never once. They're working. Whether they're here legally or not, it seems they're working. And I know everyone's saying now it's the Haitian Bahamians who are hiring them, and so but okay, whether that's true or not, I mean, we've got some other issues that we have to address. And blaming other people, I'm not encouraging illegal migration at all. That cannot be allowed to happen and continue. But we're not addressing something else going on here. And if you remember last week when we had these conversations, a whole bunch of Bahamians called in to say they don't hire Bahamians. So we're not addressing the things that are causing the downward spiral, if there is one here. It's easy to blame certain people for the mess we've created. We can fix this. Again, we've said Article 7 needs to be addressed because certain people are taking advantage of that, and something has to be done about that. But we also have to look in the mirror and say, what did I do to encourage this nonsense? Did I hire this person? And then now he has a bigger business than everybody else, and he's bringing all kinds of people on a work permit, or maybe not. Who knows? But look what you did. You started it. And I refused to work with that Bahamian because one time he was late. It's all related. We'll read the messages when we get back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
The wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Schedule your test drive of the truck that's built for the Bahamas by visiting easy242.com or call 461-0100.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This holiday season, come to John's on Rosetta Street, Carmichael Road for all your footwear and fashion needs, where we've got you and the family covered. Shoes, bags, jewelry, clothes, and even home appliances. John's has everything you need for work, church, play, or the party in your life. John's has Skechers, Steve Madden, New Balance, Nautica, Hey Dude, Patrick Ewing, and other trusted brands. A John's gift card is the perfect gift. So come on into John's and start your holidays off on the right foot. Merry Christmas, Bahamas!
At RBC, your idea of getting more happens here with a no-fee loan. With fee waivers, competitive rates, and flexible terms, get everything you want for the holidays. Apply today at rbc.com/holiday loan.
Looking for the perfect Sunday outing? The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas is now open and free to all Bahamian citizens and residents. Spend the day admiring the evolution of Bahamian art. Soak in the natural beauty of our art park and take a little piece of culture home with you by browsing our gift shop. Whether you're an art lover or just curious, we've got something here for everyone. Bring your family, your partner, or your friends and let the art inspire you this Sunday and beyond. The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, our home for Bahamian art.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, the Save Exuma Alliance, a coalition of community leaders, local business owners, and residents of the Exumas in opposition to the proposed Integra Rosewood Resort development in Sampson Key. They're calling for a thorough review of the project after praising the Supreme Court's decision to allow a judicial review of the development. SEA calling the judicial review a golden opportunity to review and reconsider the controversial project. It says it is concerned that the Integra's project in its current form will, quote, forever change the nature of the central Exuma Keys. Bahamian Contractors Association President Leonard Sands telling Guardian Business that the $1.22 billion estimate in the construction permits for 2024 from the BNSI, the Bahamas National Statistical Institute's latest construction report, could easily be double that. Sands says that they have had about $500 million in capital works last year, and almost a tenth of that going to be spent in Freeport. He says he doesn't even think the figure is close to accurate. In your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX from Friday, market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 6,000 shares, closing at $4.22, down 1 cent. Finco moving $2.50, closing at $15.20, unchanged. JS Johnson moving $200, closing at $16.76, unchanged. Consolidated Water up 2 cents, closing at $6.82. Emira Incorporated down 16 cents to $11.58. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,081.94, down 0.15. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 35,947 shares crossing the exchange with 37 trades, accumulating a value of $279,488. The BISX All Share Index gained 30.68 points or 1.005% to end the week at 3,080.77. Year to date, the index is up 72.55 points or 2.412%. The week's volume leader, Commonwealth Bank, moving 12,086 shares in 8 trades with a value of $50,814. The value leader, Focall, moving 9,300 shares in 6 trades with a value of $63,705. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in to CFAL Talks tonight at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. All right, Deandra, reading these text messages really, really quickly. You want to get through these. This person says here, the senior police in charge of all airports across the Bahamas, all of them called the name of a high-ranking politician and assuming a cabinet minister. What is this about now? Asking for two. Okay, is this related to what we're talking about? They're talking about the case in the U.S. and they're saying, so why can't we believe that drug smuggling money making would be different from human smuggling? Who's that for? What's happening? Okay, yeah, there's a lot going on. That's what the bill is trying to address. Okay, sure. I heard the Attorney General explain that this bill is basically to discourage the smuggler from accepting the jobs from desperate people. I am of the opinion that the person hiring the smuggler is just as guilty. It's like someone hiring an arsonist to burn a house down because the rapist resides there. What now? Pardon? Oh my gosh, they are desperate also, so should that person not be held fully liable as well? And they are, and they're deported. Now, again, what are you saying? Should they be imprisoned? Should they be, is that what you're saying? Should they, yes? Because we'll have to build a really big prison. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot. Is that what you want, or should you deport them and make sure they can't come back like that again? Which one? This person says here, I've listened to you since last Monday, since the bill was tabled. I think you're trying to say it's clear you have a soft heart for Haitians. That's okay. Shoot me now, then. Take me into Russell Square and shoot me with a firing squad. I don't understand. What is that a crime? Clearly, you have some horse in the race. Maybe a Haitian girlfriend, stepkids, or Haitian friends. What? But it's clear whose side you're on, and it's not Bahamians. Oh, my God. Wow. Dwight, stop blaming all Bahamians for what a small group does. Are you hiring people? Are you smuggling people? Are you violating traffic laws? So the we Bahamians that are doing this, that's fallacious. Okay. Wow. Any country that openly defies or burns your national flag is declaring war. Which country did that? Something is brewing no matter how you sugarcoat it. A country did that or somebody?
Or a person.
Some person did that. That's crazy. Person. I am not xenophobic, but I live in Eleuthera, and there's some settlements that had more Haitians than Bahamians. The school in Palmetto Point has more Creole-speaking kids than English-speaking kids. Okay. There was the one about why... Oh, I've got to find it. This was a great text. I mentioned that no one's ever begged me. Here we go. The reason you only see Bahamians on the street begging for $1 and living on the streets is because we gave all the illegals the upper hand. And they hate Bahamians by giving them our reparations. What now? Our land, and now the government is trying to give them the whole country.
Okay. This is powerful.
Okay.
Right?
Somebody mentioned Trump earlier, right?
No.
Let's hope he doesn't ever say to all the Bahamians who've legally made it over there. I mean, they're already telling the ones who are illegally over there, and there are Bahamians illegally over there, but they're telling the ones who are legally over there. Let's hope he doesn't ever say, hey, y'all have made enough off of us. Get out of here. Go back to your country and fix your country. But that would be something.
Again,
that would be something.
You got to keep in mind, some of our people are hypocrites, and it's also not all of us who think this way, unfortunately. And if we had more persons who thought a little bit better, I don't know.
Illegal migration is wrong. It's terrible. We've got to stop it. Absolutely. And you've got to fix any loopholes in the Constitution as well that encourage people to break laws. You have to be grown-ups and address it finally.
You just said constitutional reform.
I did. It's time to address it. Just because we're not saying round up and put them on a boat and sink the ship doesn't mean that we have bleeding hearts for anybody. What's happening in Haiti is a terrible thing. Terrible thing. But we have to fix what's encouraging the foolishness here. Blaming people, other people, is not helpful. Put on the big boy and big girl pants and do the work. DeAndre, we got to go. We've taken some of Aaron's time. See you next week.
See you.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
As an athlete, I've learned that success isn't built on extras. It's built on the essentials. Strength, discipline, smart choices. That's why I'm proud to partner with Bahama Health to introduce Essential 300, a comprehensive health insurance plan that's all about covering what truly matters. Essential 300 is Bahama Health's most affordable major medical plan for groups and individuals. It offers access to a specialized network of care with essential benefits like preventative services. Because real strength starts with staying healthy. You may not be training for a race, but everyone deserves strong and affordable coverage with Essential 300. With Bahama Health, you can feel good about your health plan and protect what truly matters, your health.
For more information, call 396-1350 or visit www.bahamahealth.com.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Bahamar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy, the kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out